After this incident, I did not suggest you to take night shifts in any mall. I can't imagine how deadly that night was. I saw him pulling my shirt from back, who I was talking to the food court that night before my night shift starts. I did not know how he could enter into that mall I locked a few hours back with my hand. I am really surprised alive. Yes, that night. It was not a dream, it happened that night. I was physically stopped, right at the exit. The doors were right in front of me. Glass doors, clean, automatic, exactly what you'd expect from any normal shopping mall. And for a few seconds, I genuinely believed I was about to walk through them like nothing had happened. Then something grabbed the back of my shirt. Hard. It felt like a hook, like something locking into place and pulling back. I didn't even turn around right away. I just tried to step forward thinking maybe I'd caught my shirt on a handle, but it pulled harder. That's when I turned, and I saw him, standing right behind me. The same guy who had been sitting next to me in the food court earlier, the one who smiled just a little too long. Except now, he wasn't smiling, or at least not in a way that looked human anymore. I tried pulling forward again. Nothing. His grip didn't loosen, didn't shift, didn't even feel like a normal hand anymore. This is it. Not because of the money I owed, but because I walked into a place I didn't understand and stayed too long. I yanked forward again, and this time my shirt tore. I didn't wait to see what he would do next. I just ran. I stumbled out onto the pavement. I got up immediately and turned around. He was still inside, standing behind the glass. He just leaned forward slightly, pressed his face against the door, and slowly dragged his tongue across the glass. I didn't stay there long. I just backed away until I hit my car, and that's when I realized something else was wrong. All 4 of my tires were flat. Not just flat, slashed, clean cuts, deliberate. And when I looked around, I realized I was completely alone. Every other car in that parking lot was gone. But before I get to what happened after that, you need to understand why I went there in the first place. By the time all of this happened, my life had already fallen apart. It was slow, quiet. For me, it started with something stupid. A bet. I was out with a few friends one night watching fights. I had never gambled before, but someone explained parlays to me in a way that made it sound easy. Low risk, high reward. I turned $15 into a little over $200. It didn't feel like luck. It felt like control, and I kept chasing it. At first, it stayed small. A few bets here and there. Some wins, some losses, nothing serious. But then I started increasing the amounts, started convincing myself I understood patterns, that I could read outcomes, that I could predict things. And when I started losing, I didn't stop. I doubled down, every time, because I wasn't trying to make money anymore. I was trying to get that first feeling back, and I never did. But I lost everything trying. My savings, my job, my stability, everything that made my life normal started slipping away, one piece at a time. By the time I finally stopped and actually looked at where I was, I had less than $30 left in my bank account. My credit cards were maxed out. My phone was full of missed calls from numbers I didn't want to answer, and people had started showing up at my apartment, waiting, watching, knocking. One of those people worked for a guy named Renzo, and if you've ever known someone like that, you know exactly what kind of situation that is. He didn't threaten me right away. That's what made it worse. He just told me I had time, and then that time ran out. By the time I finally called him to try and settle things, the number had changed. It wasn't $3,000 anymore, it was $10,000. Or he would come get it himself. And when he said that, I believed him. So when I say I was desperate, I mean I had already run out of options. Which is why, one night, sitting alone in my apartment, drunk and not thinking straight, I tried to beg for money online. Fake stories, edited posts, anything that might get someone to send me something. It didn't work. People called it out almost immediately. Blocked me, ignored me, mocked me. I was about to give up when I got a message from someone named Scott. He said he had a job, simple job, no experience needed. He said there was a mall outside the city, a dying one, not completely abandoned, but not exactly alive either, and the owner didn't want it to shut down. So they were paying people to walk around inside it, to make it look like it still had customers. That was it. That was the job. Pretend to be a customer. $250 an hour. At first, I thought it was a joke. Then, I thought it was a scam. Then, I thought maybe it was something worse. Then, I read the rules. Enter at exactly 2, leave at exactly 9. Spend the cash they give you. Don't ask questions. Don't leave early. And the last one, act natural. I read that message over and over again, trying to figure out what the catch was, until someone knocked on my door again. Loud, hard, angry, and that was enough. I typed back one word, interested. I didn't go back inside that night. I couldn't. I stood there for a while, just staring at the doors, waiting for him to move again. Nothing did. The mall just sat there, quiet, like it had already decided I didn't matter anymore. Eventually, I started walking. I didn't know where I was going. I just knew I couldn't stay there. The road was empty. No cars, no lights except the faint glow behind me from the building. Every few seconds, I felt the urge to turn around. I didn't. I kept walking until the mall disappeared behind the trees. That should have been enough. That should have been the end of it. But it wasn't, because when I finally made it back home, there was already something waiting for me. I don't remember the walk very clearly. It's like my brain just skipped over it. One second I was on the road, the next I was standing in front of my apartment door. I remember my hands shaking when I unlocked it. I remember checking behind me before I stepped inside. I remember locking it twice, and then just standing there in the dark, listening, making sure no one had followed me. After a while, I turned the lights on. Everything looked normal. Too normal. My couch, my table, my phone charging on the counter. It felt wrong seeing it like that after what I had just experienced, like I had walked into the wrong version of my own apartment. I went straight to the sink and turned on the water. My hands were still shaking. That's when I noticed the cut. It wasn't big, but it was deep enough to sting when the water hit it. I didn't remember getting it. I didn't remember a lot of things from the last hour, and that bothered me more than anything else, because it meant something had happened that I hadn't seen. I checked my phone. No missed calls, no messages. For a second, I actually thought, maybe I imagined some of it. Maybe I panicked. Maybe the guy was just weird. But then I saw the notification, a bank transfer, $3,000, from an account I didn't recognize. No note, no explanation, just the money. I stared at it for a long time, long enough that the reality of it started to sink in. That place was real. The job was real. And whatever happened inside, it counted. I should have stopped there. I should have taken the money and disappeared, paid what I could, left the city, done anything other than go back. But that's the thing about desperation. It doesn't let you make smart decisions. It only lets you make necessary ones. And I still needed 7,000 more. I didn't sleep that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw his face pressed against the glass, watching me, not angry, not confused, just observing, like I was something he was trying to understand. At some point, I must have drifted off, because I woke up to knocking, soft, slow, 3 taps. I froze, didn't move, didn't breathe. The knocking came again, same rhythm. I walked slowly to the door and looked through the peephole. No one was there, but something was hanging from the handle, a plastic cup. I opened the door just enough to grab it. Starbucks, black coffee, still warm. There was writing on the side, 2 words, "See you." That was when I realized something. I hadn't left that place behind. It had followed me. I checked my phone again. There was a new message. From Scott, same number, same tone. "Hey man, heard you had a rough first day. Sent you a little extra. Same hours today, 2 to 9. And remember, you're a customer in there, so act like one." I read it 3 times. Then I looked at the coffee again, then back at the message. There was no question anymore. They knew I would come back. And the worst part? They were right. I spent the next few hours trying to convince myself not to go. I thought about leaving the city. I thought about ignoring the message. I thought about blocking the number. But every time I did, I saw Renzo's face in my head. He wasn't going to wait. He wasn't going to forget. And he definitely wasn't going to forgive. I needed the money, and the only place I knew how to get it was that mall. By the time I got back in my car, it was already late afternoon. I hadn't eaten, hadn't slept properly, but I felt focused, not calm, not confident, just committed. Like I had already accepted that something was going to happen, and I was just waiting to see what. The drive felt shorter the second time. That bothered me, because I remembered every turn from the night before, like my brain had mapped it automatically, like it had been preparing me to come back. When I pulled into the parking lot, my car was the only one there. No scattered vehicles, no signs of life, just empty space, and the mall, waiting. I checked the time. 1:58, 2 minutes early. I stayed in the car, watched the entrance. Nothing moved, no one came in, no one came out. At exactly 2 cool. The lights inside the mall flickered on, one by one, like something had just woken up. I didn't want to get out. But I did, because at that point, I wasn't really deciding anymore. The doors opened automatically when I stepped close. Same as before, same clean glass, same quiet hum. But this time, there was no fake noise, no music, no footsteps, nothing. Just silence. I stepped inside, and immediately felt it. Something was different. The air felt heavier, not physically, but in a way I couldn't explain, like the building was paying attention. I walked forward slowly, looking around. Every store was open, lights on, displays set, but there were no people, no customers, no employees, no movement. I kept walking, deeper inside, past the escalators, past the food court. Everything looked exactly the same, but empty, completely empty. And then I heard it, a single footstep, behind me. I didn't turn around immediately. I don't know why. Maybe part of me didn't want to confirm it, because as long as I didn't look, there was still a chance it wasn't real. The sound came again. One step, then another. Slow, measured, not trying to hide. I turned. There was no one there, just the hallway behind me. Empty. exactly like it had been when I walked in. I stood there for a few seconds, listening. Nothing. No breathing, no movement, no echo, just silence. I told myself it was nothing, just my head, just the stress. But that explanation didn't last very long, because when I turned back around, there was someone standing at the end of the corridor. They hadn't been there before. I was sure of that. It was a man, average height, dark jacket, standing completely still, not looking at anything in particular, just there. I froze, waiting for him to move. He didn't. He didn't shift his weight, didn't blink, didn't react. He just stood there like someone had placed him in the scene and forgotten about him. I took a step forward, slow, careful. The distance between us didn't change. It didn't feel like he moved. But somehow, he wasn't any closer either. That's when I realized something I hadn't noticed before. The lights. They weren't steady. They were flickering. Not in a dramatic way. Not like in a horror movie. Just slightly. Like they were struggling to stay on. And every time they dimmed, for just a fraction of a second, the man at the end of the hallway looked different. Not gone. Not closer. Just wrong. Like the shape didn't hold. I stopped walking. He didn't move. We stayed like that for what felt like minutes. Then, without warning, he turned. Not his body, just his head. Slowly, until he was looking directly at me. And then he smiled. Not wide, not exaggerated, just enough to feel deliberate. Like he had learned that smiling was something he was supposed to do, but didn't fully understand why. My chest tightened. I didn't want to be there anymore. Not like yesterday. Not just uncomfortable, not just uneasy. I felt like I'd stepped into something I wasn't supposed to see twice. I turned and started walking the other direction. Faster this time. I didn't run. Not yet. I didn't want to draw attention, even though I had the feeling it didn't matter anymore. As I moved deeper into the mall, I started noticing more of them. People, standing, sitting, walking slowly, not interacting, not reacting, just repeating. A woman folded the same shirt over and over again. A man walked into a store, then came out, then walked in again. Same steps, same timing, same expression. I passed the food court. Empty. Completely empty. No tables occupied, no noise, no movement. That's when I understood something. This wasn't the same as yesterday. Yesterday, it was full. Today, it was building itself. I felt something shift behind me. I turned. Someone was closer now. Not the same man. Someone else. Different face. Same stillness. And then, one by one, they started moving. Not naturally, not smoothly, like something had just told them it was time. The woman stopped folding the shirt, looked up, turned her head toward me. The man in the store stepped out, paused, turned toward me. Every single one of them. Watching. I didn't wait. I started walking faster, then faster, then I ran. I didn't know where I was going. I just knew I needed to get out again. The escalator was ahead. I took it 2 steps at a time, nearly slipped halfway up, didn't stop. At the top, someone was already there, standing in front of me, blocking the path. Daniel. Same hoodie, same posture, same face. But now, he looked better, more natural, more complete, like whatever was wrong with him yesterday had been fixed. He smiled again. This time it looked right. Too right. "You came back," he said. His voice didn't echo, didn't carry. It just existed. I didn't answer. I stepped back, He stepped forward. Same distance, perfectly matched. "You're learning," he said. That made my stomach drop. "Learning what?" I asked. He tilted his head, like he didn't understand the question, or like he was deciding how to answer it. "How to stay," he said. That's when I realized something worse than everything else. They weren't trying to stop me from leaving. They were trying to understand why I could. I backed up again, slowly, carefully. Daniel didn't follow. He just watched. Then he said something I didn't expect. "You left something," he said. My mind raced. What? What could I have left? And then I remembered. The bathroom, the bag, the jacket I bought. "I don't need it," I said quickly. He smiled again. "Yes," he said. "You do." Behind him, more people were gathering, standing, waiting, watching. I turned and ran. This time I didn't stop, didn't slow down, didn't think. I made it to the exit again. Same doors, same glass, same reflection, but this time, when I pushed, they didn't open. I hit them harder. Nothing. Behind me, footsteps, not one, not two, many. I turned. They were all there, standing, watching, not rushing, not attacking, just waiting. And Daniel stepped forward. "You're early," he said. That's when I checked my phone. 6:12 p.m. 3 hours early. And suddenly, I understood the rule. Don't leave early, because if you do, they don't let you. I backed away from the door, slowly. The second I stepped back, it opened. No sound, just enough. I didn't wait. I ran out, didn't look back, didn't stop. When I reached the parking lot, my car was there, tires intact, like nothing had ever happened. I got in, started it, drove, and I didn't stop until I reached the city. That night, I checked my account. Another transfer, more money, enough to cover everything I owed. I paid it, all of it. Renzo never contacted me again. No one did. It's been a few months now. I haven't gone back, I won't, but every now and then, I catch myself doing something strange, repeating something, without realizing it, folding something the same way, walking the same path twice, saying the same sentence, again. And yesterday, I noticed something else. I smiled at someone, and they looked at me, like I had done it wrong, like I was still learning. And for the first time since that night, I wondered something I hadn't let myself think before. What if I didn't leave that place completely? And what if something there learned how to leave with me?